All right. Welcome to the Erik Williamson Show. This is episode number 31. I'm your host, Erik Williamson. The show is focused on book and course reviews in business, sales, trading, and investing. My goal is to break down what's actually worth studying, what's overrated, what you can really apply to improve your skills, income, and decision making without wasting time or money. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. This is not financial, legal, or tax advice or service. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Always do your own research. Consult with a licensed financial professional, tax professional, or legal professional before making any decision. Today's episode is one of my lessons in real estate. So I'll be covering key ideas, what I've done in real estate investing, and also go from there. So with that, my journey in real estate was investing was very lucrative and at the same time costly. So the lessons I learned, basically, I bought over 14 properties in my career in real estate investing, a mix of investments and primary residence. So it's good to the story. So first, I got into real estate. One of the first properties I bought was a duplex in Texas with a partner of mine, business partner slash friend. The way I was able to do that is I borrowed $5,000 personal loan and put that as a down payment with him, and he put down payment as well, and then we financed the duplex. That duplex was very interesting. It was hard to rent because it was in the bad area, and then we also had bad tenants that damaged the property. So it wasn't really a good deal. So it wasn't. It seemed like a good deal because there's technically no money down. It was money down because I borrowed, but it was no money because I borrowed the money. So it's no money down deal. I didn't have to use my credit. I used my business partner's credit to do the deal. Basically, that deal didn't really work out, and then just giving the property to him, let him keep it, and then I lost the $5,000 personal loan. And then my second deal was 10 properties, so 10 in Indianapolis. So about 10 from wholesaler. What I did with that is I was able to seller finance with 80% loan to value with him, and then do a refinance later after that. So I got that property no money down, and I got some cash back. So basically that was a deal. So I had that for over, I think, 3 or 5 years, renting it out. But there's some lessons learned in that. So one, there was no money down. So 10 properties, no money down. About 20% equity. I think my net worth at the time was like 200,000, 300,000. I'm not sure the exact figure. It's a long time ago. But basically, yeah, it was a good deal. It was a good deal. Got no money down, got to run ticket down. It's cash flowing about 1,500 a month. Um, what I learned from that is I did Section 8 on one of the properties. Uh, was I did off the property, not a market rent. I went off what the tenant said they could afford, and later learned that I should have done market rent on that. I learned a lot about repairs and maintenance. So, property management company I was using wasn't that great, and they would put bad tenants in and then rehab it and then rent it out. So I was paying like $35,000 to turnover to get it rental ready. And my tenants in there, some were good. I had one tenant in there for same tenant for over 3 years. Other tenants would be in there for 6 months and then move out and damage the place. Some of them I had to pay to move out, so to pay them cash to move out, so they would leave the property in good shape. But basically, the learning experience from that was I had a handyman to do the work for me. So that's the thing. I had a master contract with handyman. He did a lot of the little maintenance, and then of course I had other contractors and things like that to do the bigger jobs, and also use insurance. So I had one of the, I think, awnings fell apart, and the insurance company paid for it. So that's the thing about insurance. I had the insurance policy pay for it, and then later cancel the policy. And I also learned about insurance a lot. So when I got the property, I had one insurance policy through one broker, and it was a lot of money. And I switched to another insurance policy. I shopped around, and I saved a lot of money. So what I learned through this experience is that you can buy property no money down, but it's not always the best. because I went bankrupt because of it. So I had to file Chapter 7 because the properties, I couldn't hold on to it because I kept getting messed up with the property management. Because you think about it, the property management in Indiana, they charge us say 8%, 10% of the monthly rental income, but the rents are only $800 a month to 1,000. So they're only making $80 a month, but they have to spend more than 5 to 10 hours a month on that property. So the problem is the property managers, they don't really make money off property management. They make money off of putting bad tenants in and making you rehab it and rent it out because they make money off the rehab. Because there's very little money in property management in Indiana because the rents are so low. And that was a long time ago. I bought them back in 2008, I think, and then I got rid of them later on. But manage, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know much about property management. I didn't know how to do property managers. I didn't know about rehab as much. So that in my mind was a failure in real estate investing, and it literally bankrupted me because I ended up owing $200,000 by the time the houses were foreclosed, and then I was like 200 to 250,000, something like that. I would then I filed Chapter 7 to get rid of it. So that was a big failure. That was a big crash and burn. But I do have some success. I did buy a house in San Jose. That house was a rehab, so it's kind of like a fix and flip, primary residence. So I bought it, no money down. Again, no money down. I'm like the king of no money down. But no money down. I rehabbed it. So that's the thing. So when I buy a primary residence, a rehab. So also I'm licensed. I'm a licensed real estate salesperson in the state of California. So I do have my real estate license as well. So just a full disclosure, but I'm not affiliated with any broker, and I'm not practicing real estate right now. With that out of the way, but going back, San Jose house was a good deal. ended up making a lot of profit on that. I ended up selling it later for a profit, and I did rent it out. But one of the mistakes I made when I was renting out that property is I did free rent because I felt bad because I was going bankrupt at the time, and I had any money and I wasn't paying the mortgage. So I free rent. So but end up trying to file eviction on the tenant, and then the tenant luckily was cooperative, didn't really damage the place, and just ended up moving out. And then I cleaned up, and then I just didn't really do much with them. But that was a profitable deal, even though I hit hard times and move out, but it still wasn't no money down. I think I netted about 30,000 profit. I bought the house for 280,000. I think the house right now is worth a lot more. It's in the 800,000 range. It's a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, two-car garage in San Jose, California. So it was a very good deal, very good profit. It was like a fix flip. What I learned from the fix and flip, I did the demo myself. So I remodeled the bathroom from the ground up. So what I did is I demoed the entire bathroom with my friend. We tore apart the bathtub and replaced the sink, everything. Then the flooring, I hired a handyman to redo the floor. Paid him like I think like $1,000. I think I rehabbed the whole bathroom for like $5,000, which is incredibly cheap. The bathroom was horrendous, and they cleaned up the backyard, hauled away a lot of things, a lot of gardening things, and then there's like these juniper trees. They're full of like spiders, and they're just ugly, big green tree juniper trees. They're really big in San Jose. Uh, my friend got a chainsaw, cut them down. Tried to cut down. He got spiders on himself. He got black widows on himself. He freaked out. But we were able to get rid of all those trees, and then the properties look really nice. Replace the flooring. So I had a big backyard. Clean up the gardening, put sod in, So basically, we had the whole property, made it look a lot better, and I was able to sell it for a profit, sell it to an investor. And then the way the investor bought it, he bought it and or a sign. So that's another key thing in real estate investing is you can do and or a sign on your contracts. So what is that? What does that mean? That means it allows you to assign the contract to an investor and sell it for cash. So let's say you tap a good property, you buy it from below market, and then you decide you don't want to buy it because you don't want to fix and flip it. You can assign it to somebody else. And this one did, and he had an investor pay cash for the property, so I got to see like how someone else is able to buy a house below market, which is my house below market for cash, and go from there. So that was that deal. That was a good deal. That was a good house. Had I kept it, I probably would have been a lot more money. Probably done very well. And then the next house I bought was in Vallejo. It was a good deal. Sold that for a profit, and then later the house in Fairfield. But basically, what I've learned from all buying all these properties, about 14 of them, is real estate is a lucrative game, but it's also very risky. It can literally bankrupt you. You can get way over your head. I know for me, I over leveraged myself with the 10 properties in Indiana. Uh, it was a cool experience. It was a learning experience. I learned a lot about real estate investing. But real estate investing is not what it's all cracked up to be. So, you know, but that's why I haven't done it again. It's because it's really risky. It's also really stressful too and time consuming because you have to deal with repairs, maintenance, and tenants. I get to deal with property managers, and it's a very it's not passive income. It's definitely not passive income. So yes, I was making income, but it's still active because you still have to think about it. You still have to think people. You still have to manage it. Um, can you make millions doing it? I never done. I never made millions from it. I have a lot of experience. You can make a lot of money, but yeah, that's my experience with that. With that, so the recap, kind of like what I was talking about, is yes, you can buy no money down, but it's risky. Number two, yes, you can make a lot of money in real estate if you hold on to it for the long run. Like if I would have held on to that San Jose property till today, I would have made a lot of money. The other thing is maintenance. What I learned is having a handyman do a lot of the little maintenance separate from property management because sometimes property management companies pocket the difference between the maintenance and what they charge. So that's how they make their additional income on top of their property management income based off the property. And then, but yeah, it's just a property in California is were pretty lucrative. One in Indiana wasn't so lucrative, but that's what I learned. So this is the Erik Williamson Show. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. It's not financial, legal, or tax advice and services. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Always do your research to consult a licensed professional tax code legal professional before making any decisions. And this is episode number 31, how I bought 14 properties and real estate. And if you'd like the show, please rate or review it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hopefully, learn some valuable lessons from this podcast. The good and the ugly of real estate investing, especially the ugly, which is not really talked about in real estate. But with that, take charge, and I'll see you later.